When President Obama said that those that have an abundance for their quality of life should share it with others, they had this gentleman in mind. This is Dr. Sanford Ziff, who is the founder of Sunglass Huts and one of the great philanthropists in our community. First of all, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
And let me ask you a question. You grew up in Akron, Ohio. What was it like growing up for you?
My dad and mother had a delicatessen and bar in Akron for 20 years. And as I grew up, I worked from first grade right straight through first year of college, University of Akron.
Well, did you ever get to slice the meat?
I won't tell you, Stewart, how many corned beefs I cooked and how many pounds of corned beef and peppered beef I sliced.
Well, when you started out in your first career, you were an eye doctor, and then you became an expert in contact lenses at research. What was your inspiration to become a doctor in the first place?
All those years of working in Akron, my dad died at an early age, a little over 50. And they didn't want me in the delicatessen business and working 16, 18 hours a day. And they suggested, why don't you try a profession, maybe optometry. We have a family in Akron that were very successful in optometry. So I went to the University of Miami and I took all science courses. And I did well, and I liked it.
Let me ask you the question I think a lot of people in the audience would like to know. How did you transition from being a doctor to being one of the best entrepreneurs in Miami?
The owner of the Dayland Mall from Baltimore would come down and check the mall, and he was a patient of mine. And he said to me, he said, Dr. Ziff, I'm going to put 3 kiosks in Dayland. And I said, how about sunglasses? Because I knew professionally there were thousands of people out there that were wearing junk sunglasses that really weren't protecting their eyes. And he said, wonderful. And I borrowed $6,000 from the bank, Dayland National Bank. I wanted it, and I wanted to keep it separate from my practice, incorporated into Sunglass Hut of America. And the $6,000 that I borrowed was enough to have the kiosk built.
Well, you parlayed those little kiosks in Dayland Mall into over 550 kiosks around the world. At some point, I guess you either got an offer you couldn't refuse or got tired of being in the sunglass business, and you sold your company and did a remarkable thing. You turned your life and decided you wanted to give back, and your name is on buildings all over this county at universities. And the building that I like the best is the Ziff family Opera House, which is part of the Performing Arts Center downtown. I found out recently that that's the second largest opera stage in the country after the Metropolitan Opera House. How does it feel when you go by like the Opera House and you see your name up there? How does it feel to you?
It reaches, Stewart, it reaches the bottom of my heart, into my soul. I am so fortunate, my last birthday, June 4th, that I'm 87 and a half.
Wow.
And
you don't look a day over 65.
Thank you very much.
But you also are very generous and help a lot of underprivileged organizations that service the underprivileged in our community. Which do you enjoy better, going to the Opera House or going to some of these organizations and helping the people who need it the most?
I'm involved in many of the charitable organizations. And there's not enough time in the day to actually be involved with them, but I'm involved physically as well as financially with as many of them as I possibly can.
Well, you're a very beautiful man who has done a lot, not only for your community, but for people all over the world. And on behalf of all of the people in Miami that go to the Arts Center and are able to participate in various things that you've been responsible for, I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Stewart.